In this video, we'll be creating a social video ad in Canva to promote your business or product using a concept that feels familiar and natural to your audience. Let's jump into Canva. So let's click Video, then Mobile Video. I'm using Canva Video 2.0 and I've already picked two clips to keep things moving. The first shows the product, and the second shows what happens after the call is answered. Just drop them onto the timeline, product first, then outcome second. Now let's build the phone UI. Press R to add a square, change it to white, then stretch it to a rectangle. Feel free to make adjustments until you're happy with the result. With it selected, click corners and drag the slider all the way to the right. You can actually go past 100 here. I usually push it to around 200 so the edges feel fully rounded. Then let's click the transparency to lower the opacity of the element. And that would be the base. Next, add a circle for the call button. Make it white. Resize it. And place it just right here. Then go to Elements. Search for phone icon. Then let's click See All. I think this looks good for this one. Now let's scale it down, just like that. Put it in the circle. Then let's make it green like this. Now let's select everything, then drag it on the lower part of the canvas. Just right here. To really drive the idea, I'll be adding a couple of small icons up top. Battery. Now let's select this one, put it right here, scale it a little bit, and make it white. Now let's add more icons. Signal, Wi-Fi, those kind of things, just enough to read as a phone screen. Now for the text. I'm using DM Sans as it's clean and easy to read. Here we can type your Daily Brew. Scale it up like this, then bring it up on this part. Now duplicate it by holding Alt and dragging it down. And under that is calling ... Now shrink it and make little adjustments. Now duplicate it and bring it right here. Then below we can add slide for a sip. Now click text spacing and adjust the letter spacing like this. Let's do the same thing for this. And we can also add brewing on the upper left corner of the canvas. Make some adjustments. Now let's drag this up. Click this first layer, hold Shift, then click this bottom layer to select everything. Then drag them all the way to the left. Now let's adjust the duration of the first clip until the duration says 3 seconds. Then let's adjust the other elements. And the text accordingly. Now moving over to the second clip, here I'll add the brand name, the Daily Brew. For here, I'm using Lex and Zeta. And let's make it all caps. Then let's break it and 3 lines. I'll open up the letter spacing and line spacing a bit so it doesn't feel cramped. Then scale it up like this. Then you can bring it right here. Then finally, let's make sure that its timeline aligns with the second clip. If you want a bit more depth, you can add a half vignette behind it. It's totally optional, but it helps the text pop. Now let's get this one. Rotate it like this. Scale it up a little bit. Then bring it right here. Now let's drag its timeline all the way to the left. Then bring its layer all the way down. Let's lower its transparency. Then let's trim it down to 8 seconds. Now let's animate the call slider. Now select the base or this layer, then drag it all the way to the right until it snaps. Now select the phone icon and the circle, then group them. Duplicate it, and make sure they're aligned. Then place the duplicate directly over the second clip. Select it, hold Shift to lock the vertical position, then drag it to the opposite side. Now hover between the two clips, click the transition icon, and choose Match and Move. And that's what creates the swipe motion we have. Now let's select Slide for a Sip, add the typewriter animation, and set it to on exit so it disappears as the slider moves. Adjust the timing until it feels smooth. This part is a little tricky, so just be patient with it. Now duplicate Slide for a Sip, make sure it's aligned, then bring it right here. Then we'll use this to type answered to taste. For this one, a wipe animation works nicely. Again, this part is a little tricky, so you'll definitely make a lot of adjustments on the layers, on the timing, and also on the speed. I think this looks good already. Then for the logo, I'll keep it simple. Let's just use typewriter again. With the writing style set to Word. Now let's test this. As you can see, there's some glitch. So let's tweak the text box like this. And you're good to go. To clean things up, I'll add a reverse blur to the text and icons from the first clip. You can do a reverse blur by simply changing the animate setting to on exit. And that's looking good. For the slider, I'll hang it for just a moment longer before it disappears, so the transition doesn't feel rushed. So let's trim them like this. Then select both the slider base and the answer to taste. Then apply reverse blur. As you can see, the text needs fixing again. So let's simply widen the text box, and that should do it. On top of everything, we'll be adding sound effects. Now, let's get some cool sound effects from the Canva library. So let's get the ringtone on the first clip. Let's get this one and drag it all the way to the left. Make sure it aligns to the first clip. A click for the slider. A coffee pour. Some light ambient sound. And a coffee sip at the end. Then we can just balance the volume so nothing feels too loud. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.